What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to a Easter Sunday edition of MoBetta Trading. We are going to go ahead and get straight into breaking down the Bitcoin chart as we do every single week. As y'all know, last week was a short week, so we didn't have anything on Friday. Good Friday was this past Friday, so all the banks were closed and everything. So it was a very short trading week. We only had 4 days. And in those 4 days, literally nothing happened. Market simply went sideways. So we had nothing really to make, right? I could come on every day and tell y'all, hey, the markets are going to continue chopping sideways until we do X, Y, and Z, until I'm blue in the face. But that's not going to do anything for y'all. Markets traded simply sideways all week last week. And so there was not really much to update. But this week should prove to be a more volatile week, especially if we get Trump back on the tweets and getting his fill in to send the markets haywire. We can't really predict that, so all we're going to do right now, like we do every single week, we're just going to go ahead and get straight down into a top-down analysis, what we're going to be expecting for the week ahead for Bitcoin and the altcoin markets. And yeah, so I'm not going to talk too much. Let's go ahead and get right down into it. So as always, we are going to be starting on the weekly time frame. We're going to mark out our support and resistance areas. We see that we have resistance here at around the 88,200 area. On a large time frame, again on this weekly time frame, we have support all the way down here at about 77,500. But as you can see, there's obviously some interaction between price in between these areas. So we'll drop down into the daily time frame and see what we can get going here. Okay, I do actually kind of like this way this is setting up. So we got a doji being created here, some space, right? All last week we just basically traded in this range. If we drop this down again, this is on the daily time frame. So even here we can see that we had a support formed at 83,500. Price came and tested it several times and was unable to break through it. Now we had a Sunday candle that pushed down into the 84,000 area, rejected, and it turned out bullish. Now, as long as price does not break down below this low, we are looking really bullish. And the way this is setting up, I would anticipate we're going to get a move something like this and come to fill these highs at least. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to look exactly like this. We can be, we can still trade sideways here. We could do this and then get our way up out of here. But the way that this is looking, and considering that for 6 days last week, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all again in the same range, I would imagine that this move up is going to be a pretty good one. Okay, and we're actually we're breaking through this high right now. So mind you, this is Monday's candle developing. So if Monday's candle can break above 85,300 and close above it, we should be able to get a move that takes us back towards the top of this range. Right now, we'll have to see how this is developing on lower time frames, but on the daily, not looking too shabby. Right, not looking too shabby. Let's go ahead and drop down to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, you can see this has been an area of resistance multiple times that we're coming up to test again. So until we can get a close above this area, I would say until we can get a close at least above 85,500, there's no trade to be taken, right? But you can see that now we can adjust our support area. Our support area on the 4 hour, make it more actionable, right, is down here. And we have resistance up here, right? So we have some good ranges developing right now on Bitcoin. We have some good ranges. And considering that we've really just been in this same exact range that we're in right now, I mean, this has been, since we got down into the 88,000 area, we've been trading sideways for damn near 2 months. For 54 days, we've pretty much traded sideways. Okay, so price has not decided which direction it's wanted to take in 54 days, and it looks like we might be getting a decision this week. So again, If we can get a break in the close above 80s, what is this, 85,500, we should be able to retest this area and fill at least this wick, potentially get up into here, consolidate and boom, fill again and push up towards these highs. That would be ideal, right? You want this to happen during high volume times, obviously. Now, this is the brand new weekly candle is opening, so we've created a low already on this weekly candle. Whether this is going to be the low for the week or not is obviously remains to be seen. I would not be surprised to see at least a small little pullback that comes before we can get a break up out of here, but it's not necessary that were to happen, right? We could just straight push through here, and as long as we can get a close above here, right? We're gonna close above this area, and then we can talk about coming to fill this wick higher. Until that happens, there's nothing to do. Should we start to form resistance in some exhaustion candles like this doji here, or even like this little half-baked bullish candle over here, if we get any exhaustion wicks, we can expect that this is a clean range here that price has developed. So we could get up into here and do something like this where we come back down and fill this range. But in the higher time frames and based on the way this is consolidating, I feel like this is looking very at least in the short term is looking very bullish. All right, so what I personally would be looking for is a break above, hold this level, be able to come and break through here, hold this level, and then take it up higher. Right, that's what I would be looking for to come and take these highs. Now, whether we close above here or we start, rejecting or break above and then come back down and reject, who knows? That is possible. We could do something like that where we reject and just play this level, right? Where we just play this range for a little bit longer. But if we do end up getting a close above 88,800, I think it's on like Donkey Kong in the short term. That would lead me to believe we can get something that would get us into the 90,000 range, up into this area in the short term. Now, whether we, again, hold there or whether we have to test up here and fail it first and come back down and retest some of these zones lower, that's possible in order for us to continue ranging. Because who knows how long we're going to be in this range. It could be a while. But I'm looking at this moment, at this particular moment in time, I'm looking for breakouts out of this tight range that we have been creating between 85,500 and 84,000. I want us to get up out of this range and start testing the upper bounds of the higher time frame ranges. And on the 1 hour, you can see here even, this is a great area of resistance. If we can get some strong bullish candles to develop in this area, I would look for breakouts to come higher. Okay, boom, super easy. Until that happens, you do nothing. Either until you get something like this, or until you get something like this, you just do nothing, right? You don't do anything. You wait. You gotta wait. You just gotta wait for price to develop the way you want to. Even on the 1 hour time frame, though, I do like, we've got some support being created here. This is a whole mess down here, so you wouldn't necessarily want to be taking shorts unless we can get some really strong rejection candles in this area. Okay, so on a lower time frame, it's looking pretty good for buys. Okay, now let's go on to ETH. We're gonna speed run through ETH. ETH has obviously been the worst performer, and it has been the worst performer for multiple months now. But we are just sitting here in this range between 1560 and I would even say the range is between 1560 and 1670 area, right? But you can see that we also on the daily we have this resistance created here. We drop this down on the 4 hour. Boom. Okay, so you can see that this was the underside retest of the breakdown. So we have a good area of resistance here. If we can get above here, we can fill this area, possibly all the way back up into the 1680 area. Otherwise, we'd be looking for, I wouldn't be looking for any sells personally unless we got either a push up that failed again, or unless we just started to kind of hang down here at the lows and break. then I would be looking to take a short back down to these lows. But my bet is that on the weekly time frame, Ethereum has not only has it closed bearish, but it closed higher than last week's opening price, right? It stabbed below, but couldn't hold below. And now, if we can get Ethereum to continue pushing up, I would say if we can push up about 40% of this candle, we should be able to fill it higher, in my opinion. If we can get not even a 40% fill, man. If we can just get above, keep it simple. If we can just get above the daily high at 1620, we can continue pushing higher, right? I'm not personally looking for any sells on Ethereum, and I won't be until we start to show some real weakness down towards this 1550s area. In my opinion, it's lining up really nice for longs. Okay, so even on the 1 hour, you drop that down. We got a good area of resistance. This gives you a little bit more clarity, a little bit more context to the price developing. So, and that's not to say that we can't do something like this and come back down here and get up out of here. We could do something like that still, for sure. But right now, the way it's looking, maybe we grind up higher and get up out of here. We'll see. But looking really good right now. Looking really, really good. The most reasonable trade to take would be a break above here that can close and hold above this area. And then we could take it to these highs and potentially up to this resistance. Okay, cool. All right. So on the daily time frame, Ethereum is looking really good. I really think that it has a chance to play some pretty good catch up. Okay, Solana over the weekend, as y'all can see, it continued to move up. On Saturday, we had another push in Solana. Sunday was kind of just a stall day. Here comes Monday. Right now, we're pushing right into resistance, obviously, and we have not been able to close a candle above this resistance area. See, we pushed above it a couple of times. We've spiked above here, but the closes, which are the most important parts, the closes have been below this resistance. So we need a candle to close above $140, and then we should be good for a run at least to 153. I'd say we should at least get candle to price to push up towards $153 based on Solana's strength. Whether it comes all the way up to 180 and fills all this immediately, I would say doubtful, but not out of the realm of possibilities. All right. Cool. So now we drop this down to the 4 hour. Again, keep this shit simple, y'all. Keep this simple. Don't make anything more difficult than it has to be. You don't have to be timing the bottom because you're not going to. You don't have to time the top because you're not going to. You don't have to do anything complicated. Just keep it as fucking simple as fucking possible and take what the market offers you. Okay? You don't need to be making, you don't need to catch 1,000 pip moves or 500 pip moves or 10,000 pip moves or 15% moves or anything like that to make this a profitable endeavor for you. You need to have systematic trades, a systematic trading system in place, and when your trigger is triggered, execute, right? When your trigger is triggered, execute and don't hesitate. So for me, the thing that will trigger me in is either we create resistance on the next 4 hour candle, right? And then the ensuing candle breaks above that resistance, boom. And then I would be anticipating that we continue pushing up, hold above here, and keep going. Or I just simply wait for a price to get up here, close above here, and then I can take a trade at the break of this high up to the next resistance area, right? And that can make you a lot of money. That can make you a lot of money. Very, very fucking simple. Very fucking simple. Or, right? And I say or because you have to have all of these things in mind. Now, not all of these things are going to play out, but you have to have all these different scenarios in mind. Or if we get up here and we start to push through, but close back below here and start showing weakness, then you can look to take a short back down to this area, right? It doesn't have to be too complicated. It doesn't have to be too complicated. You just have to know what the hell you're looking for. If you know what the fuck you're looking for, execute when you get it. Period. Keep it simple. All right, so this is on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, the 1 hour we're looking pretty good. Even look at how we got this rounded bottom here. We're breaking through resistance area, even on a lower time frame. Breaking through resistance, right? If we close through resistance, the only way that we can remain bullish is if we do not break this low. We wick down, create a body that continues pushing up, and then you can expect to see this area filled. Okay? Keep it simple. Don't do anything stupid, and don't try and make it more complicated than it has to be. Keep it simple. All right? So that's what I'd be looking for on Solana, personally. Again, at this point in time, I'm not really interested in sells, especially not selling to hold. Anything right now, even buying actually. Buying or selling doesn't really matter. The market has not given you a lot of leeway to hold trades. So you want to be in and out in an hour or a 4 hour candle, whatever time frame you're trading on. Just practice on taking one candle. Just make sure that you execute on one good candle. If one 4 hour candle goes in your direction and it's a good 4 hour candle, close your trade and get out. Take the profits, right? If you're having problems either being profitable or finding profitable trades, or if you're exiting too late, or if you're exiting too soon. Just focus on one candle. Focus on one candle. If you can execute on one candle, then you can start to stack more candles together until until whatever your strategy calls for, until that movement runs out of steam or your idea is either validated or invalidated. Just focus on taking one good candle. That's all you really need. Literally, that's all you really need. And even if you take one good candle and you close 90%, let the rest of your trade run, right? You don't have to milk every single penny of profit. You need a bulk of the profit and then see what happens after that. Either you're going to get stopped out at break even or price is going to hit your target. That can be the only two options after you've taken profit. But the most important thing you can do is take profit, period, right? Okay, so now let's go on to XRP. XRP, again, just like everything else, has just been ranging. It's created a really, really weak bullish candle last week, which is a good thing. Considering we had a hammer, now we had a really weak bearish candle. What we'd want to see is, I'd want to see this weekly high broken in order for me to believe that we're going to continue pushing up and being able to, make it back into this $2.40 area, right? Otherwise, we can push up and start to fail here, and just stay ranging. But on the weekly candle, okay, so we got our, again, support way down here. There's more support in this area. This is just definitive support on the weekly area. So when we dive into lower time frames, we'll be able to identify this support. But for right now, we got this as support. This area here as a clear resistance. We try to push up once, try to push up twice, try to push up 3 times and could not break through. So on the daily, awesome. Man, this is looking really good. This is looking like a rounded curve. If we can break above this daily high, Sunday's high, we should be able to continue pushing up into the $2.18 area, in my opinion. So we got our support being created right here. Our resistance is still here at this next area around 218, 217. On the 4 hour, you see we've held this area as support. And now we're approaching this area of resistance. Now you could wait if you wanted to wait for this confirmation candle to close up into the $2.10 area. Otherwise, if you wanted to be preemptive and get, the best entry price you can, you could take this break of this high as it is happening and have your stop loss below this 4 hour low. Because if price is going to continue bullish, it should not break the previous bullish candle low, right? And that's a simple 1.5 R for you. And you could target up to 213, make it about 2.25 R, or just take it right into resistance for a 1-to-1 even, 1-to-1, 1-to-2, or 1.2 I should say. Okay, but typically a lot of times this type of price action here, what we're gonna get is if we can get a close above this area, we'll get price to move up and boom, to fill in, right? So price is moving as we're speaking right now, right? So you could even target back towards these range highs. I think this is actually a pretty good area. Again, you'd want to see this 4-hour candle finish up stronger, but the way it's pushing right now is actually really good. It's what we want to see. All right. So we break it down to the 1 hour. You can see that this is a clear area of resistance. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times that we push into here. Now we just wait until we get our trigger, right? The only way that we would even think about going short is if we were to break below $2.05. All right. So cool. All right, man. That's gonna do it here. Look at this. Oh, this is breaking out beautifully, actually. What did I say? What did I just say? You're seeing it play out in real time. You notice how I'm not freaking out. I'm not like, oh my God, I missed a trade. Bro, there's going to be plenty of trades to take. Okay? But you can see it happening in real time. Right? Breaking above here and now. I wouldn't be chasing this. Obviously, what I'd be waiting for is a pullback. And then, like a little, a pullback into support. Create some support. And then we can take the trade higher. If we don't get that, we already know what we're waiting for. We're waiting for something up here, and we'll take this trade. It doesn't matter. But y'all are seeing in real time how simple it can be with just squares, just lines. Just draw some horizontal lines on your chart and look at where we're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make it up. Come on, man. It's simple. It's very simple. You gotta love that. You've got to love that. All right, I think that's as good a place as any to finish this. You just saw a trade happen in real time. You saw me break this trade down in real time, and already your target is damn near hit. And that's a good move. From 85,340 to 86,270, that's $1,000 move right there. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. All right, that's as good a place as any for me to end it. I hope y'all enjoyed this breakdown. You got to see exactly how to look at these charts and how to break these trades down. You saw it happen, play out in real time. I can't really do any more explaining for you. The chart is explaining exactly what the strategy is, and that's all there is to it. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn those notification bells on so you never miss any videos that we have dropping for you. Leave a comment if there's anything else that you want me to break down, anything that you need help having explained. How do you stop from FOMO? Any of that kind of shit, just let me know, man. I'll get you something out for you. But until next time, either we'll come back tomorrow or Tuesday, depends on how price is going to develop. But until next time, that's going to do it for me. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace.